Hey everyone, welcome back to Kharak 11. We just got off a really nice series, so I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this one might be a bit of a snoozer here, but it's gonna be between PhantomCrash45 and AGameAnx. Now we saw these two players meet in the qualifier. Yeah, I really can't lie, I thoroughly expect AGameAnx to kind of trash PhantomCrash right here, but I don't know, I don't want to be, how do you say? I'm not even sure what the word is. Point is, we're rooting for PhantomCrash because he's definitely the underdog, right? Anyhow, A-Game playing is random, but he's going to roll Con F here. He's most certainly going to tell PhantomCrash that this is his faction pick. He's doing that these days. I'm sure you're all aware of that by now. So what is PhantomCrash going to do about it? We have early Sandskimmer fabrication coming out here. Oh, excuse me. Wasn't exactly hiccups, I don't know, I was decommissioned for a second. Anyhow, A-Game going to be getting Sandskimmer fabrication as well. Fairly early, but you can tell he's still going for a bit more of an eco start here. Only 5 guys over here, because he's only got 1 on RUs, so he's not really focused on RUs as much. Doesn't look like anyway. Second RU salvager, I guess, is going to be coming out of the carrier any second now. But we got blast drones coming out now. We got Sandskimmers coming out from PhantomCrash, so he's definitely looking to do something of the more aggressive nature out there in the middle. Base runner moving up from AGameAnx is going to see that most likely, although it's never certain. We see a blast drone hanging out back at the base for PhantomCrash. This is probably to protect against blast drones. I actually wouldn't really expect to see A-Game use blast drones like to strike the eco in the early game. He usually doesn't, but this is not a bad touch. You never know if that's going to happen, especially if you know your opponent is Con F. Well, this is probably wise. Little Sandskimmer fight's gonna go on here in the middle, perhaps anyway. It looks like both players kind of backing away now. Oh, okay, I was gonna say, like, how does this guy have high ground? Now, he was targeting the base runner, but that means A-Game gonna take a very nice fight here if he wants to, and this guy's definitely very isolated. Sound's probably gonna go down for free. A-Game wants to pull this one wounded guy back, and he's going to. He's also got that speed boost, mind you, because his production cruise is in the area. Phantom has the same benefit, but it's further away. So A-Game doesn't have the numbers, but he's taking the fight just by micro there. Players' monies are pretty much equivalent at this point, but still no tech has been... Is that actually true? Yeah, but still no tech has been chosen, so you can tell they're both pretty focused on this fight right here. And it looks like it's definitely going A-Game's way. I think that's the first Sandskimmer he's lost, actually. So yeah, they've traded 3 for 1 so far, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. A-Game's been taking these fights without the numbers advantage, of course, so now that he's got it, I'm sure it's just going to be really impressive. Both players going to be going for assault ship tech at about the same time, then. Yeah, I mean, PhantomCrash certainly should not feel bad about this. Like, losing a micro battle to AGameAnx is nothing new. He's, what we knew him for back in the day, like, more than anything else, I would say, is that he just microed like a god. I mean, like, you could never take a Sandskimmer fight off of him. So this is not surprising to see. You can see he's just got those fundamentals of pulling that wounded unit back, keeping the guys bunched up together really, really well. And he's pretty good at utilizing high ground also, so... So yeah, we should see the numbers just kind of snowball out of control here. PhantomCrash can be hoping then he can get a production cruiser out before, or sorry, a assault ship out before the production cruiser goes down, but he probably can. Now this blast drone here should be, could be huge. Is going to get taken down by the Sandskimmers, but hey, it allows PhantomCrash to take out 1 more of A-Game's units, which is a good trade, mind you, if he's got 2 guys against, like, 8 to be able to kill 1. But he does go down 2 for 1 there. It's finished, though, so both players immediately going to get siege cruiser fabrication. Looks very telling. And PhantomCrash going to make a salvager. Are you mad, lad? Definitely what he needs here is an assault ship, yeah, but... He's gonna go for salvager. That's kind of gutsy. He also does not have his weapons powered up on the carrier. I would be powering them up by 2 now. Sandskimmer is gonna give it respect. He definitely doesn't realize that there's no power on the weapons, but I mean, you can't really blame him for that, can you? Okay, PhantomCrash is gonna be making some assault ships now. Gotta be careful about these Sandskimmers then. Now, where's that blast drone? It's way back in the corner here. Yeah, very defensive position on that thing. Yeah, PhantomCrash definitely wants to power up the carrier there. And again, A-Game gonna get pushed back. Like, he actually could push in there based on the fact there's no power there. Although, obviously, you know, he can't know that. I mean, I guess he can if he clicks on it, but, like, he's gonna assume, in other words, that, you know, power is gonna be given to that carrier. Oh, okay, I thought for a second Refiner Mode came out at exactly the same time, too. That would be, like, tremendously interesting. Like, both players are doing the exact same things. But still, you can tell the builds are really similar between here. Anyway, A-Game gonna get a second base set up. And he should have a much easier time holding that off, you'd have to expect, wouldn't you? What with, you know, the big old Sandskimmer blob there. We should also point out the scoreline is now 2-1. So that's what A-Game, like, that's the biggest thing A-Game has gotten out of this. So far, anyway. I mean, I'm saying that because he hasn't really slowed down his opponent's eco at all, has he? He could try for it, but there's a soul chips there that's very risky. So yeah, I mean, I definitely respect that, but yeah. Refiner Mode just now going to come out for Phantom Crash here, but I feel like that's not really A-Game's doing, just kind of Phantom Crash being a little bit slower on that. And A-Game's already making a Siege Cruiser, by the way. He's like 2/3 of the way finished with it now. Phantom Crash can be going for another Production Cruiser first. No, he canceled it. He's probably going for the Siege Cruiser then. Just needs to get like the RUs. He's got the money for it. Ah, there we go. And A-Game is getting Power Reserve 1? Not really sure why he's doing that. I'm sure this... Oh! Yeah, there is an idea behind this. But that doesn't do anything for him. He doesn't have a production cruiser out in the middle, does he? Yeah, I'm not sure why he's getting Power Reserve 1 right there. But he's got it, so... Second Siege Cruiser is just immediately going to come out as well. And Missile Ship Fabrication comes out for Phantom Crash here. That's not a bad idea, obviously, because air is a real threat in this type of scenario. A-Game not going to go for it, though. He's going to get the range upgrade instead. And... in some ways that's risky. In fact, in a lot of ways it's risky, I guess, because the Siege Cruiser easily could be killed by the air units there. But it's right, isn't it? I mean, like, his opponent doesn't have air. It's just I'm not sure how he's feeling safe to do that. Yeah, he is going to get Missile Ship Fabrication himself. And we know Siege Cruisers as well, they're very vulnerable to air in general, so... This is not going to be what Phantom Crash wants to see. He was kind of hoping, I think, to have the first Siege Cruiser out on the field, but there is one out there already. Going to take out this Assault Ship here. Base Spinner comes back, actually. I'm not sure if I would have recalled that one, but... Siege Cruiser over here is definitely going to take control of this area. I mean, obviously Sandskimmer's Assault Ship's not going to do anything to that, but A-Game's got another one, so he's not going to be too worried about that. There we go. This guy's finally going to start shooting. Once A-Game finishes the range upgrade, he's obviously going to have a huge advantage in these Siege Cruiser fights, but interesting barrage there. But anyway, that's obviously not done just yet. And actually, Phantom Crash is taking this fight right now. But Siege Cruiser barrage is going to come in. That should change things. Yeah, so if the Siege Cruiser fight went down right now, Phantom Crash would lose this. So he's going to have to back away here. He wants to just keep going for it, though. If I were him, I'd pop smoke with the base runner and use that to evacuate the units. I like the pressure here. This is really good, actually. You can see how he's kind of got a net set up around his opponent there. But, yeah, he's just going to be outclassed when the fight comes down, especially if you're barraging. Oh, I mean, there is a little bit of a hill there. It's really hard to see on this map, but, yeah, if you're caught barraging when your opponent comes over the hill, you're done for, right? A-Game with some odd unit control here, actually, and it looks to be hurting him a little bit. I mean, he actually will lose this Siege Cruiser fight if it goes down. Oh wow, yeah, I think he's going to lose the Siege Cruiser right here, which he really shouldn't be. That's pretty messy, I feel, but he does take out the second one with his, so. A-Game also trying to pressure his opponent here, but there's a siege cruiser in the back line, so that's not gonna amount too much, I don't think. I think the same thing happened to Phantom Crash. A siege cruiser popped out right here, you can see that. No, look at that, the eco's actually dead over here. Hold up, what's going on here? It looks like A-Game is actually behind. What on earth? Yeah, that's kind of curious. Yeah, he missed the assault ships raiding his eco there, so they did a lot of damage. And he came at this guy, you know, like one at a time and attacking the assault ship first, so he lost the siege cruiser there, even though he was doing a 2-on-1 fight there. That's quite uncharacteristic, I think I would definitely say. I mean, he definitely came out behind there. Oh, but what the heck happened over here? Okay, maybe I just missed everything. And actually this was totally okay, because it looks like all the salvagers have died over here. So, I take it all back. I take it all back. He is actually, yeah, he's ahead, isn't he? What? Okay, what happened? There must have been like 4 fights going on at the same time, because I clearly missed something here. I'm so confused. Sandstorm vs. A-Game get a run and see if they can strike the eco once more. There's a siege cruiser, but it's not quite in position. And that barrage is, oh, that's a lot of range. I didn't realize they could fire from that far away. I mean, I don't think the salvagers just died there. Yeah, they must have been killed. I just don't even know. Wow, look at that trick. Didn't actually work for him, it looks like, but oh my gosh, look how many missiles he spammed out there. Is that possible? He like increased the number of missiles that the siege cruiser fired somehow. I need to look into that. Anyway. There's actually a heavy railgun now, which is, I think, definitely like a good move here, because if you can't take the siege cruiser fight, then, you know, just supplement it with rails, yeah. Reduces your opponent's armor, and you got, you know, long range, very safe damage, because that's not going to take any damage, obviously. Then again, they are siege cruisers, they can just double barrage it to death, but... Acolyte. I imagine this is coming on that guy, but it might be on the eco. That's on the eco, looks like. You know, Kharak Siege Barrage is kind of like better and worse than the normal barrage, in that it's much more spotty on what it hits, but it's like, because of the fact they also have the direct fire, it turns out to be much better in some ways. It's kind of hard to say, I suppose. Anyway, yeah, Phantom Crash has had enough. He knows what's about to happen right now, so he's going to give in. But... man, that was an interesting game. I don't know, I feel like I must have missed quite a lot of it there, because it seemed like, okay, so we got a siege cruiser fight going on here, A-Game takes a little bit of a sloppy trade, but you know, it works out fine for him. And then I look at his eco and it's completely gone. I'm like, oh my gosh, he came up behind, and then I look at Phantom Crash's eco and it's completely gone, and I'm like, wait, no, he's even. I don't know, we're just going to move on, pretend that didn't happen. Anyway, it is going to be 1-0 now for AGameAnx, and this is going to be Phantom Crash's map pick. See what he chooses. It's going to be Firebase Crow. And this is a map that actually I feel is not... how do I feel about this? I don't feel very comfortable on it as Conf against like Coalition or Sogon, but maybe that's just because of some bad experiences I've had and it's actually fine. I don't really know. Actually, it is a map that I've seen Siege Cruisers do quite well on, but I'm not sure. Not sure. We'll have to see what faction A-Game rolls here. That's going to be pretty important. Oh, it's Conf. Okay, so we're just going to have another mirror match. A-Game probably is not happy about that, because I think he's playing random because he wants to have the factions change around, so he's going to be like, alright. I don't know. What I'm going to say Phantom Crash did really well that game was, you noticed how... like, as he was having that siege cruiser fight, he was coming in with assault ships around, like, he was kind of pushing all over at once. And, I know it can sound kind of like I'm disparaging him, like, oh yeah, he's just gonna get wrecked by A-Game here now. I mean, it's kind of true, but that's not because Phantom Crash is bad, right? I think, he actually played quite well in that match. I really enjoyed it. And this is still a nice touch, too, you know, keeping the blaster on here. And he's, oh my gosh, he's gonna go really heavy, into economy there. I like this, though, mixing it up a little bit. So he's gonna go really hard into the economic play here and hope that pays off for him. Oh, excuse me, I'm a bit tired. 30 seconds left on that. He probably wants to get Sandskimmer fabrication before he makes too many salvagers here. But I don't know. We'll have to see. This can definitely work out. It's a pretty risky play, but if your opponent doesn't punish it, it can work out very nicely for you. Like, this is my favorite thing for my opponents to do when I'm playing, of course, because I move out literally immediately with the production crews. Like, I'm there as fast as it's possible to be. But A-Game, as you can see, hasn't done this exactly. However, based on A-Game's micro, I think he's going to have a really good time if it comes to a Sandskimmer fight here, even if he's, like, you know, lower in numbers. And so if Phantom Crash, as you can see, still has not even been able to make a single Sandskimmer, he's probably going to come on top there. Now, A-Game's not going to know that Refiner mode is finished here. He won't expect that. But he'll see it pretty much now. He'll see that those salvagers are not going very far. Yeah, he's probably seen that already. So if I were him, yeah, Power Reserve 1, there you go. That's definitely the right move. And then I would get Assault Ship Tech as well. Assault Ships can be defensive in that way. There you go. Actually, does Power Reserve 1 even make sense? Because you're kind of... Yeah, I don't know. I think it does. But yeah, so you can power up the mobility support here. That's probably the more useful one. Because you're not really going to expect to hit anything with the cruise missiles, are you? I seem to remember the Con FPD doing a bit more than that. Oh well. But yeah, this is exactly what you want to do if you're in A-Game's position and your opponent has gone eco-heavy. Is you want to say, okay, well, I'm going to use my Sandskimmers then to hold you off your second base. If you move your carrier out, then I'll come swing around and strike at your main. And it's real difficult for your opponent to reestablish like that advantage that he should have for having the advanced economy there. And look at A-Game's micro, it's pretty good, keeping the damaged Sandskimmers away as he tries very desperately to kill off that Salvager, and he will get it. This guy not going to go down either, so he hasn't actually lost anyone yet. I don't think anyway. Look at the units lost tap. Yeah, he hasn't. He's gotten 3 Salvagers and he's neutralized his opponent's refinery mode, so this is looking very good for him already. He makes a lot of Sandskimmers in the early game, that's one thing I'll say. One thing, when I got back into the game, after I had been gone in Turkey and Germany, I remember, like, when I first started playing again, I was making way too many Sandskimmers. Like, that was my biggest downfall, I feel, in games. So it's interesting to see that A-Game does make a lot of Sandskimmers, but it works out for him, so. Anyway, Phantom Crash can take the second base now, so he's going to move out there. He really wants to get a tech, though, I think. And yeah, okay, he's done it. It's going to be interceptor fabrication. I'd also be making another production cruiser if I were him from the carrier. A-Game just now getting onto refiner mode, so in that sense they should be like even in economy, if you will, right? Just that A-Game has got a big army out on the field, obviously, so he's also got field control, he's extracted 1 artifact, he's going to get a second here. He also has got that earlier production cruiser, so that's probably going to be pretty valuable later on. And both players going for interceptor fabrication, so they really seem to enjoy mirroring each other. That's pretty fun to see. And I think we're probably going to see A-Game just springboard onto 3 bases about as fast as he can. But we'll have to see. Yeah, it looks like it to me. That's what I would do too. FleetCap45 just finally now coming out for Phantom Crash. Obviously, he didn't need that earlier. It's not like not something he's doing wrong, but it is interesting to see how late that came out. He was making a production cruiser, but he canceled it there. I think he wants to go for interceptors immediately. I don't know about that. I feel like if you never make the production cruiser, you're just going to fall further behind. Oh, and look at this. So A-Game basically is just saying, like, I just want to make sure that my opponent isn't doing anything sneaky. So he's got a Sandskimmer in all of these positions here so he can see exactly what his opponent is doing. Or rather what his opponent is not doing, right? So he knows very well, yeah, he's still in his base. I haven't seen him move out at all. And that triple ping right there is probably so spooky for Phantom Crash. He's going to be like, holy goodness, but it's just... It's just single Sandskimmers, so it's not like that bad. But definitely that's going to make him feel a little uneasy. I can't tell how far... Oh, no, I can. Yeah, A-Game is... he's got about 1 interceptor lead here. Is he still producing, though? No, he's not. Oh. Gets smacked by a cruise missile there. That was a pretty nice shot actually, because it was still in the fog of war. He was using the sensor ping to know where to shoot there. Not that it matters too much, obviously, but it's fun to see. A-game gonna launch immediately here. Generally, we, or at least I do this. I kind of hold off the interceptors until my opponent launches because I'm trying to punish him. But that's kind of I don't know. I feel like that works pretty well, but it does mean that you're not going to get any value out of these guys until your opponent tries to get value out of them, which is kind of interesting. So, oh, but if Phantom Crash launches right now, see, he could actually potentially kill those guys off, and he's got Afterburner, and AGameAnx doesn't. Okay, so this is, oh no, oh no, oh no. I don't even know how that happened, honestly. And yet, look at this. He's probably going to take this air fight. No, he's actually just going to GG right there. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I think he was about to take the air fight there. Ah, that's fine though. Yes, I mean, we definitely expected AGameAnx to be the winner of the series here, but I still saw some pretty impressive stuff from Phantom Crash, and that's kind of what I wanted to see. So, well, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be casting the other semifinals once it gets played, but Frosty and Everett still haven't found a time to play with each other yet, so we'll just have to see about that. But until then, catch you later.